Welcome to Liverpool Report, your go-to for daily Liverpool FC news, transfers and match updates. If you're a true Red, hit subscribe and join the family. You'll never walk alone.
This is one of the saddest stories to ever come out of Anfield. Liverpool players and fans are still in deep mourning following the tragic death of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who lost their lives in a car crash just a week ago. While Andy Robertson and Virgil van Dijk led the Liverpool delegation at Jota's funeral, Alisson Becker and Luis Diaz, who couldn't attend at the time, were present at the emotional seventh-day Mass in Portugal. They were joined by fellow Portuguese internationals and football figures as around 100 people gathered to honour Diogo and Andre. Alisson shared a heartbreaking post on Instagram saying, "Nothing makes sense today, but I know I was well represented by my clubmates." Diaz too paid a heartfelt tribute, calling Jota a friend whose kindness and gestures will stay with me forever. Liverpool FC are planning further tributes, including one during their friendly against Preston. Fans have even called on the club to retire Jota's number 20 shirt in honour of the forward's memory. From everyone here at Liverpool Report, our hearts go out to Diego's wife Ruth, his 3 children and all his loved ones. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre. Alisson Becker and Luis Diaz attended the seventh-day Mass of Diogo Jota, having been unable to attend the funeral of the late Liverpool star. Jota and his brother Andre Silva passed away following a car crash a week ago. The football world went into mourning following the news as tributes were paid around Anfield and in Jota's hometown in Portugal. Liverpool delayed their phased return to pre-season, and the likes of Andy Robertson and Virgil van Dijk led a delegation of Liverpool players who attended both the wake and the funeral of their teammate last week. Diaz and Alisson were joined by Diogo Costa, Jose Sá, Andre Horta, João Mario, agent Jorge Mendes, Estoril coach 𝗕𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗞𝗚𝗚 and the squad from Penafiel, André Silva's club. It is reported at the church door around 100 people gathered to pay their respects. Liverpool plan to continue to pay tribute to Jota, and Preston plan to host their own moment of remembrance for the club's pre-season friendly. There have been calls to retire Jota's number 20 shirt. On the morning of his teammate's funeral, Alisson revealed he was unable to attend. The Brazil goalkeeper was in South America on the day Jota was laid to rest. Alongside a picture of Alisson and his family with Jota's family, he wrote on Instagram, "Usually I post things that make sense, but today nothing makes sense. Once again, an ocean separates me from saying goodbye to someone I love. But I know that I am well represented by my club mates. To you, my friend, at 𝗕𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗞𝗚𝗡𝗚, just know that you will never walk alone. We will be with you as soon as possible. In a moment like this, all we can do is bow down before the sovereignty of God and receive grace and help in this time. I'll remember Diogo as a great friend, father and husband." Diaz also paid tribute to his Liverpool teammate in the aftermath of his passing. "I'm at a loss for words. It hurts in my soul, not just for what he was on the court, but for the person he was off of it," he said. "There are gestures that one never forgets, and Diogo had one with me that will accompany me all my life. My hug goes out to Ruth, his 3 children and his family. Rest in peace, Diogo and Andre." Luis Diaz insists he's very happy at Liverpool despite ongoing discussions over his Anfield future. The Colombia international is a transfer target for both Barcelona and Bayern Munich, who have already seen initial approaches knocked back by the Reds in recent weeks. Diaz is now gearing up to return for pre-season training on Merseyside, but he has admitted there are ongoing negotiations, although it appears he is referencing talks with other clubs, as opposed to his Liverpool contract. He told Colombian influencer Mauricio Gomez, "We're there negotiating. We'll see what can be achieved for us and for the club. We'll try to do our best and make the best decision." When quizzed on interest, having also been linked with Saudi side Al Nassr, Diaz added, "We're in the process of negotiations, talking with the club, with Liverpool, with everyone who's approaching us, but I'm very calm where I am, very happy, trying to make the best decision now." Diaz was in his homeland, while the majority of his Liverpool teammates attended the funeral of Diogo Jota and his brother, Andre Silva, in Portugal last weekend. The Premier League champions have already made it clear that they do not want to sell Diaz this summer. However, a new contract is not currently on the agenda for the 28-year-old. He only has 2 years left to run on his current deal, which expires in the summer of 2027. Diaz also paid tribute to Jota, who previously held up his jersey in October 2023 after scoring a goal as the search for his kidnapped father continued. The Liverpool winger said of his late colleague, "It's very difficult to receive news like this. No one is prepared for this. He was a key companion when I arrived in Liverpool because his family welcomed me and we formed a great friendship. We had a healthy rivalry and it was important." Barcelona still view Diaz as among their top transfer priorities, while Bayern have also made an audacious approach for his services. The Bundesliga champions are now pressing for attacking reinforcements after Jamal Musiala suffered a fractured fibula and ankle dislocation in the 2-0 Club World Cup quarter-final defeat to Paris Saint-Germain on Saturday. Diaz was a prominent figure under Arne Slot last season, scoring 17 goals and registering 8 assists in all competitions. The former Porto forward was utilised as both a left winger and a centre-forward, and he remains a firm part of the Dutchman's plans heading into the 25-26 campaign. The family of Diogo Jota and his younger brother Andre Silva have been joined by the tragic Liverpool striker's teammates, Premier League stars, Anfield Chiefs, and thousands of fans as they lay their sons to rest on Saturday morning. The emotional ceremony, which begins at 10 a.m, takes place in Gondomar, outside Porto, following Friday night's wake and widespread tributes to the duo, who sadly died on Thursday. The Premier League footballer and his younger brother both lost their lives in a devastating crash near Zamora, close to Spain's northwest border with Portugal. The tragic incident occurred just days after Jota's marriage to his childhood sweetheart, 𝗕𝗥𝗘𝗓𝗚𝗓, who had to identify her husband and his brother after the crash. Hundreds attended the wake at the 𝗕𝗥𝗘𝗔𝗞𝗡𝗚 on Friday, with Liverpool sporting director Richard Hughes and Fenway Sports CEO of football Michael Edwards leading an LFC delegation. A number of Liverpool stars are also in attendance on Saturday, along with former COP players Thiago Alcantara and Fabinho, as well as Manchester United's Diogo Dalot and Manchester City's Bernardo Silva, having all paid tribute on Friday. Keep up with all the latest from Gondomar as the footballing world comes together to pay tribute and say farewell to Diogo Jota and Andre Silva. Despite only being at Anfield for a year, Arne Slot has not only delivered success on the pitch, but assumed the ambassadorial role so associated with being Liverpool boss. Having navigated the difficult experience of the parade crash, the Dutchman was again left to speak on another tragic incident, and he delivered a powerful statement in the hours following Jota's tragic death. What to say? What can anyone say at a time like this when the shock and the pain is so incredibly raw? I wish I had the words, but I know I do not, Slot began. All I have are feelings that I know so many people will share about a person and a player we love dearly and a family we care so much about. My first thoughts are not those of a football manager. They are of a father, a son, a brother, and an uncle, and they belong to the family of Diogo and Andre Silva, who have experienced such an unimaginable loss. My message to them is very clear: you will never walk alone. The players, the staff, the supporters of Liverpool Football Club are all with you. And from what I have seen today, the same can be said of the wider family of football. This is not solely a response to tragedy. It is also a reaction to the goodness of the people involved and the respect that so many have for the boys as individuals and for the family as a whole. For us as a club, the sense of shock is absolute. Diogo was not just our player. He was a loved one to all of us. He was a teammate, a colleague, a workmate, and in all of those roles, he was very special. Slot continued, when I first came to the club, one of the first songs I got to know was the one that our fans sing for Diogo. I had not worked with him previously, but I knew straight away that if the Liverpool supporters, who have seen so many great players over the years, had such a unique chant for Diogo, he must have special qualities. That we have lost those qualities in such terrible circumstances is something we have not yet come to terms with. For this reason, we need everyone at the club to stand together and to be there for one another. We owe this to Diogo, to Andre Silva, to their wider family, and to ourselves. My condolences go to Diogo's wife, Ruth, their 3 beautiful children, and to the parents of Diogo and Andre Silva. When the time is right, we will celebrate Diogo Jota, we will remember his goals, and we will sing his song. For the time being, we will remember him as a unique human being and mourn his loss. He will never be forgotten. His name is Diogo. As the private ceremony continues, there remains a number of mourners around the church, with the local community very present in Gondomar. Both brothers are going to be buried in the churchyard, which is surrounded by olive trees, less than 100 metres away from the church where the service took place. The group is now heading towards a cemetery for a private ceremony. People around the church applaud those in the huge group of guests. Mourners are now being led out of the church by a priest carrying a silver crucifix. Other priests are carrying candles and incense. Jota's coffin was carried out of the church after that of his brother Andre's. Jota's wife Ruth, wearing white, was clearly emotional. It appears the funeral service is ending as people begin to exit the church. Clearly a difficult moment for all involved as they begin to line either side of the doorway. The priests then once again lead a procession outside of the building. Liverpool manager Arne Slot is the latest to have arrived at the church. He has joined the group of current Red Stars, seen next to defender Joe Gomez and midfielder Alexis Mac Allister.